Okay, ma'am. What was happening is that the C2 cycle is called as a wasteful mechanism because we are not getting any useful products, and moreover we are spending ATP molecules. So ATP molecules spend kar rahe, and at the same time we are not getting any good molecules. We are not getting any profitable molecules. That's why whatever this mechanism is, this mechanism is called as a wasteful mechanism. This was the concept that was during your textbook, visual mechanism, etc., etc. The two. But if you try to Google some research, थोड़ा एक बार research करो, etc., etc. Is it the C2 cyclist benefit or etc., etc. अगर एक बार Google करे तो then you will get certain good points. No? Then you will get certain good. I mean, it is called as visual mechanism. This was the opinion like 20 years back. ये पूरा का पूरा वेस्टफुल मैकेनिज्म है बोल के वो ओपिनियन था साइंटिस्ट के उसके उसमें कब था बोले तो like 20 years back or 30 years back it was the opinion of the scientist of that time that C2 cycle is totally wasteful mechanism. But as the time is moving on, what we came to know that C2 cycle is not that much wasteful at all. C2 cycle उतना waste भी नहीं है. Why it is not waste? Because see, let me tell you. See, what was happening is that in the plants, if the oxygen concentration is very high, if the oxygen concentration is very high, what is happening? What will happen means oxygen atom being a highly radical in nature, it will try to oxidize every molecule. It will try to oxidize every molecule present inside the plant leaves. Plants may or हर एक molecule को, for example, it will try to oxidize chlorophyll molecule. वो जाके क्लोरोफिल मॉलिक्यूल को ऑक्सीडाइज करने का प्लान करेगा. तो ऑक्सीडाइज क्लोरोफिल मॉलिक्यूल को अगर ये ऑक्सीडाइज करा तो क्लोरोफिल मॉलिक्यूल विल नॉट वर्क. Chlorophyll molecule will not work, and if the chlorophyll molecule is not working, there is no light reactions, there is no dark reaction, there is no photosynthesis, etc., etc. Let me tell you, Ma. Previously, it is thought that wasteful mechanism because it is not having any profitable products, and moreover, it is utilizing the ATP. Because that was the opinion like 30 to 20 years back. If you try to Google, थोड़ा research करो, etc., etc., then you will come to know that it is not that much. उतना भी बुरा भी नहीं है, उतना बुरा भी नहीं है, थोड़ा अच्छा भी है. ఎంత గలీజ్ మెకానిజం కూడా కాదు, కొంచెం మంచిది కూడా. How means if the highest concentration of oxygen is present inside the plant, what will happen means oxygen being in highly radical in nature, highly oxidizing nature, what it will do means it will start oxidizing every known macromolecule present inside the plant. Means it will try to damage every known macromolecule present inside the plant. Oxidation जाके करेगा oxidation, because just go and see your chemistry. Who is the highest oxidizing agent means oxygen is the oxidizing agent. उसका नाम पर ही आया ऑक्सीजन ऑक्सीडाइजेशन, दोनों का उसका नाम पर ही आया तो समझ लो. ऑक्सीजन being an highly oxidation number, it will try to go oxidation to each and every macromolecule, and chlorophyll being is an example only. Chlorophyll is being an example. It will try to oxidize every known macromolecule. Macromolecule मिला उसको जाके oxidize करेगा अगर oxygen concentration ज़्यादा रहा तो plant के अंदर. So what this C2 cycle is actually doing, it is removing a excess amount of the oxygen from the plant. It is removing a excess amount of the oxygen. Just go and see this point. यहाँ पर जाके point देख लो, oxygen है, oxygen RUBP से mix up हो रहा. And what was happening? Excess amount of the oxygen, if the plant is having that excess amount of the oxygen is getting removed. That excess amount of the oxygen is getting removed. Go and see this reaction. Excess amount of the oxygen is getting removed and it is getting converted into the lesser dangerous form. I'm not saying that hydrogen peroxide is a dangerous one. It is also dangerous, but oxygen से compare करें तो hydrogen peroxide is a less dangerous one, and it will be present inside the peroxisome only. It will not leave the peroxisome. Peroxisome जो भी है ना hydrogen peroxide को देख लेगा future में जो भी है ना वो hydrogen peroxide is also a toxic element. एक बार जाके पीने के लिए ट्राई करो. In the markets you will get the hydrogen peroxide. If you are getting any wounds ना దెబ్బలు తగిలినప్పుడు ఇంతకు ముందు అయోడిన్ పెడుతుండే, ఇప్పుడు అయోడిన్ పెడతలేరు. पहले अयोडीन लगाते थे, अब अयोडीन नहीं लगा रहे, अभी हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड डाल रहे. हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड वुंड्स के ऊपर डाले तो वहाँ का बैक्टीरिया जो भी रहता है ना वो मर जाएगा, बिकॉज इट इज अ टॉक्सिक एलिमेंट. इट रिमूव्स डस्ट या whatever. So hydrogen peroxide, but hydrogen peroxide being a toxic element, it tries to stay inside the peroxisome only. It tries to stay inside the peroxisome, as hydrogen peroxide is trying to stay in the peroxisome, it is not going to damage any part of the. अगर हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड बाहर आया तो अपने को प्रॉब्लम है. हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड इसका पेरोक्सिज्म के अंदर ही शायद हो, इट्स नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम. एंड व्हाट आई टेल यू इज दैट it is came to know that C2 cycle is not that much wasteful. It is also very good in nature also. How it is good in nature? Because excess amount of the oxygen will be removed. प्लांट के अंदर अगर एक्सेस अमाउंट ऑफ द ऑक्सीजन रहा तो it will be getting removed in the form of the hydrogen peroxide. That's one of the good things. So what was later, अभी भी still आपका टेक्स्ट बुक में wasteful बोल के दिया, but what we came to know that it is not that much wasteful. It is actually very good also. Even though we are using the ATP तो यूज कर रहे तो कर रहे, पर अपन क्या निकाल दे रहे हैं, अपन ऑक्सीजन को निकाल दे रहे, एक्सेसिव अमाउंट ऑफ ऑक्सीजन को निकाल दे के अपन अपना प्लांट को सेव कर रहे. वी आर सेविंग इवन द सेम मैकेनिज्म अप्लाइज इन आवर बॉडी आल्सो. अगर अपना बॉडी में एक्सेसिव अमाउंट ऑफ द ऑक्सीजन रहा तो same peroxisome will come into action. Even our cells also peroxisomes. They will convert the excess amount of the oxygen to the hydrogen peroxide. Even our bodies also does the same. So very simple. One more good thing is that they are providing amino acids also. See, if this reaction is stopped here only, अगर C2 cycle जो भी है ना यहाँ पर stop हो गया तो if it is entering into the mitochondria, the glycine amino acid can have some sort of other useful. एक glycine यहाँ पर mix होने की वजह पे అక్కడ కాకపోతే glycine mix కాకుండా ఈ glycine amino acid వేరే ఎక్కడైనా చాలా యూజ్ అయితే it can be utilized for the production of proteins also. It can be utilized for the production of the proteins also. Means here the reaction will be stopped here only. The reaction will be stopped here only, and there is no recycle of the RUPP molecule. There will be no recycle of the RUPP molecule if the glycine molecule or the glycine amino acid for the production of the protein. Now glycine, if they mixes together and if they produce a serine amino acid, then serine amino acid will be having some sort of future one. It will be having some sort of future where it will get converted into the protein again. Means there is no regeneration of the RUPP molecule. Just understand, very simple. In your textbook, it is given that it is a wasteful mechanism. He's scolding actually. He's scolding the C2 cycle that he is totally wasting ATP molecules to waste कर रहा, वो कर रहा, ये कर रहा, etc. But when you do some sort of good research, then you will come to know that C2 cycle is not that much bad. Even though it is utilizing ATP molecules खर्च कर रहा होगा, ATP molecules ने utilize stays तुंदी. It is still utilizing the ATP molecules, but it is doing some sort of two good things. One is that it is providing the basic amino acids for the production of the protein molecules. Amino acids ni produce చేస్తుంది. It is producing amino acids for the production of the protein molecules. Another good thing what it is doing means it is producing it is converting the highly toxic oxygen atom. It is converting the highly toxic oxygen atom to the less toxic hydrogen peroxide. हाईली टॉक्सिक ऑक्सीजन एटम को हाइड्रोजन पेरोक्साइड की तरह कन्वर्ट कर रहा. मैं ఆల్రెడీ आपको बोल दिया, మీకు ఆల్రెడీ చెప్పిన ఆక్సిజన్ ప్లాంట్ లోపల ఉంటే ఏమైతుంది సార్, ఆప్టిమమ్ లెవెల్లో ఆక్సిజన్ ఉంటే ఏం ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. the oxygen is present at an optimum level, then there is no problem. But if the concentration of oxygen is very high, then what the oxygen will do means it is being an highly radical in nature. Highly radical means it is always tries to mix up with another molecules. Radical, highly oxidizing in nature kabatti, it will go and react with the other molecules, and it will try to oxidize another molecules such as the chlorophyll molecule या cytochrome P6F molecule या कौन सा भी molecule से mix up होने के लिए try करेगा. And in the chlorophyll का अगर if the chlorophyll is C55 H72 O54 या something O54 N4 Mg बोल के था. This is understand, this is a chlorophyll A structure, C55 H72 O54 N4 Mg. If you are adding one extra oxygen also, C O55 कर दिए, then it is no chlorophyll A molecule at all. If you're adding in any extra oxygen to the chlorophyll molecule, then it is not chlorophyll molecule anymore. If you are even removing any oxygen at all, it is not chlorophyll A molecule at all. तो क्या होगा, chlorophyll molecule का जो भी उसका property है, it will be lost. It will be totally lost. I mean, what I'm trying to tell is that oxygen will try to do that sort of things. No, इसे sort of things करने के लिए try करेगा. So what was the doing, it is removing the excessive amount of the oxygen. It is keeping only the optimum amount of the oxygen. That is enough. Today that is enough. I'm giving you like 2 minutes. C2 cycle is completed. I'm giving you like 2 minutes. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Or else you can ask me for later by messaging me. 2 minutes time. I'm giving you 2 minutes. This is totally enough. Interconnect echo awesome level. Interconnect echo awesome level. Just remember 3 organelles are involved: chloroplast, peroxisome, and mitochondria is involved. Just try to remember that. And what was happening in each and individual organelle में क्या क्या हो रहा है एक बार देख लो. Previously it was taught like this. Paste है पूरा, and later it was came to know that it is also very good. It is also very good. It is also very good. So we completed C2 cycle. We completed C2 cycle. Let me tell you C4 cycle. Let me give some introduction, and after that I will leave the class. C4 cycle. So what was happened? What इसका checker दिन लोले नंटे C4 cycle दिन लोले नंटे अम्मा इसका problem. What is the problem with the C4 cycle is that as a C3 cycle, in the C3 cycle, if you observe the C3 cycle, the Rubisco enzyme, if you're providing carbon dioxide to it, then it will perform C3 cycle. The same Rubisco enzyme, if you're providing oxygen, it will provide what? It will perform our C2 cycle. Rubisco enzyme की कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्रोवाइड చేస్తే it will perform C3 cycle में. अगर each Rubisco enzyme को ऑक्सीजन प्रोवाइड करे तो it will perform C2 cycle. So in a daytime, where the photosynthesis should take place, during that time, if you are performing C2 cycle, then the productivity of the plant will be decreased. Productivity of plant will be decreased. Means daytime के time में जहाँ पर आपको photosynthesis should be in a higher way. Daytime low morning during the time where the photosynthesis should take place, where you have to produce heavy amount of the glucose molecules. Instead of doing that thing, instead of doing the C3 cycle, instead of being the oxygen in a higher quantity, you are performing what? You are performing C2 cycle. तो C2 cycle में तो glucose molecule तो produce करने का दो. C2 cycle में glucose molecule produce करने का दो. So what will happen means productivity of the plant will be decreased. It means plant is not able to produce any C6H12O6 molecule. It is not able to produce any good molecules. So productivity जो भी है ना वो plant का कम हो जाएगा. That will be plant. So if the productivity is not happening at all, then the growth of the plant will be affected. Growth of the plant will be affected. Growth of plant will be affected. Even though C2 cycle just now we are saying it is a good thing, but if it is happening, it is happening continuously day by day, then the glucose molecule produce नहीं होगा, then the growth will not. The growth is not taking place, then the plant will ultimately die. Just understand that there will be some sort of consequences. अगर एक नहीं हुआ तो दूसरा उसका consequences sequence होगा, उसके next sequence, and ultimately everything is going to die. అర్థమవుతుందా నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నా అంటే to overcome this problem, to overcome this particular problem, some plants what they did means they developed a new mechanism called as C4 mechanism. Everyone listen me carefully what I'm trying to tell you. In order to overcome the problem of C2 cycle, where the productivity of the plant is actually decreasing, some plants they they themselves evolution कर लिए अपने आप को. They made some sort of changes inside themselves, and what they did means they overcome this problem by doing another mechanism called as C4 cycle. This which is we are going to discuss on tomorrow's class, how it is able to do overcome. Means very simple. C4 cycle में अगर वहाँ पर जो भी Rubisco enzyme है ना, C4 cycle also you'll have the Rubisco enzyme. C4 cycle में Rubisco enzyme के सामने ऑक्सीजन लगाए तो भी Rubisco enzyme टच नहीं करेगा. How it is going to happen we are going to see. Before that let me clarify you one thing. Let me clarify you. See, this is why I'm having in a very hurry, because I started the class very later. Tomorrow exactly I will start the time on the time. Correct on the time I will try to start the class. Sorry for that. let me tell you, ma, C3 cycle. C3 cycle. What are the C3 cycle is it that happens in C3 plants? What are the plants which are performing C3 cycle? Na, they are called as C3 plants. What are the plants which are performing C4 cycle? They are called as C4 plants. C4 प्लांट जो भी प्लांट्स में C4 साइकिल चलेगा उसमें C4 प्लांट्स बोल के बोलते हैं जो भी प्लांट्स में C3 साइकिल चलेगा उनको C3 प्लांट बोल के बोलते हैं today's homework is that you have to google the examples you have to google the examples of C3 plants and C4 plants and you have to message me that is your homework that is your homework